Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of I Know What You Watched Last Friday. I'm Brian,
I'm John.
and this is the special episode 20. Big 20th, baby.
Can't believe it's been 20 episodes already.
20 episodes in almost 2 years.
Is it almost 2 years? Oh, yeah.
Almost 2 years. I believe in May.
Yep.
May will be 2 years. 2 glorious years of bringing these people the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for sticking with us for so long. We continue to enjoy doing this and bringing you guys entertainment.
Yeah.
We thought we would do something.
Crack the fuck out of my knee.
Before Hoovy falls apart, we're gonna do something a little special this episode, being that it's the big 2-0. One of our faithful fans, Allie Wilson, give you a name shout out. Gave us the idea to cover films that have turned 20 years old. So we're going to go down a list of some horror films that were released. Believe it or not, folks, when I think of 20 years ago, I think of 1994, not 2004. So we're going to be covering horror films released in the year 2004, which happened to be turning 20 years of age this year.
Yeah, we're just going to not go in depth of each movie, but just a synopsis.
Yeah, just like go down, like run down a little gist of this and thoughts.
20 years ago, I was to date myself. I was 7. Sorry. I made Brian feel old.
Yeah. So 20 years ago, you were 7. And 20 years ago, I was... I don't want to say it. I was 14 20 years ago. 20 years ago, wow. Yeah, I remember, 7th grade, being really stoked. And it's one of the first movies that come up on the list that I'd be looking at. Is Alien versus Predator.
Yes. Yeah, it came out. Yeah. I think I've only ever seen it once. I don't think that was fully.
Not the whole thing. Do you remember at all, like the gist of it?
What was the gist of it? I remember.
Because like the story, like the concept was cool.
Yeah. I don't fully remember. I remember like half watching it. I just remember them finding the temple that had. Was it the predators that was in there that were hunting the aliens?
So they found like a temple that was underneath Antarctica, and it was an ancient temple that apparently was made by like all of the ancient tribes came together to build this one thing.
Oh, okay.
And what it pretty much was a sacrificial chamber, which would be like so these warriors would have the the queen alien, in like a harness, and she would pretty much lay these eggs that would be laid out, and they would pick like 7 or 8 people to sacrifice, and the face huggers would breed those sacrifices, and then predators would be sent, and it was almost like a rite of passage.
Oh, okay.
From like it's basically like a predator becoming like a man in his species, like going and taking out, like fighting the alien.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I do remember the corny ass tagline to that movie was "Whoever wins, we lose." From my recollection of it, I remember a lot of people being like going to school and like being like, "Dude, you got to check this movie out." Like we were so hyped on it coming like before it came out.
Yeah.
And then actually like seeing it, I think looking back, we had a bigger idea in our heads before seeing it. Because like watching it, there was a lot of hit or misses.
Yeah.
But at 14 years old, like I just thought it was really bitching to finally see Predator. Like I was old enough to see a Predator movie.
Oh yeah.
And that was cool. I remember my great grandmother that Christmas gave me the DVD,
cool.
of Alien vs Predator, and I think I watched it like almost every night for like a week or two. I remember taking it over to my buddy Tom's house and watching it, and I was just like, "Dude, you gotta watch this." And he's like, "Oh man, it sucks. Let's watch something else." But yeah, looking back on that one, that one, that one took me down memory lane a little bit. And then of course we had that god awful sequel that came out.
Oh.
But that wasn't 20 years ago. It will be.
What else came out? There was a movie I know pretty well. It's Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Van Helsing.
Wolverine.
Yeah, with Hugh Jackman.
And Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
Which I thought when that came out, I thought like seeing the trailer, seeing him as Van Helsing, I was like, oh okay, he's gonna be hunting Dracula. This is gonna be pretty cool. And then seeing Kate Beckinsale in the trailer, I thought like, wait a minute, is this like? I thought it was tied into Underworld, the Underworld movies, dude. I was super hyped on that, but seeing the actual movie when it came out, it was pretty damn good. It sucks that we never got a sequel to it.
No, I think there works for another one, but I don't fully know. If you know anything about Van Helsing, he's a vampire hunter, and this movie is like part of my childhood because my sister had it. I used to watch it at least every week. I watched it because it was just something about it was just so good. Just
visually, it was
awesome.
It
was just a really good movie.
Oh yeah,
Hugh Jackman did a really good job. Him fighting the guy who played Dracula, Richard Roxburgh, did a really good job.
Oh yeah.
Like, holy shit. Him, Van Helsing fighting Dracula's wives was a cool scene.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I remember Roxburgh in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I actually seen that in 2003, the year before. I remember seeing that the year seeing Freddy vs. Jason. But he played one of the literary heroes.
Oh, okay.
I forget who he was in that.
And I just remember this scene that was stuck. It was a blooper back when those were things.
Yeah.
It's 2004. They were all in like in every single movie. There's a blooper, and it was funny as hell. And I was watching. It's a scene where Frankenstein's monster gets lifted up in the ice thing, and where he's like it cuts to was it Shirley Henson that plays him? Yeah. And he's like in this thing, he's entrapped in it, but he's comfortable. And he's like being lifted up, and they're going to he's putting his head down, like he's going into it. He's like, don't worry guys, I got cable in here.
Don't worry guys, I got cable in here.
And then at the scene another blooper is at the very end of the movie where Frankenstein monster is like rowing away. It's like it's in a pool, but it looks like an ocean.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's like 20 feet out in his pool. And they're all like, we'll see you guys. We'll see you because they were like done filming. He's like, where are you going? You gonna leave me out here?
I'm out here in this tank. Like the hell?
Yeah, I know.
That is a good one. That's one I'd like to go back and revisit.
Yeah, I'd love to watch it again. There's The Village. We're not talking about
that. Yeah. One on this list that really made me. I mean, I guess it would be like. I mean, it's comic horror, but the third installment of the Blade movies, Blade Trinity. That movie, I remember seeing, because I mean, growing up, obviously I was a big wrestling fan, and I remember seeing on WWE Monday Night Raw Triple H talking about being in this movie, being in the new Blade movie and shit, and it was horrible. The third one of that movie, so you had Blade, and then you had the character of Whistler, the guy that gave Blade, he was pretty much like Blade's Alfred. And Whistler dies, and then you're introduced to his daughter, which is Jessica Biel. And then you have Ryan Reynolds as another character who was once a vampire, but then was turned back into a human and is now helping Blade fight these vampires. And there's this new breed of vampires that these other vampires are worried about, so they want to resurrect Dracula to basically annihilate those new breeds and Blade. And it was just a absolute mess, a shitty film, great actors stuck in a shitty story.
I heard Wesley Snipes was really hard to work with.
Wesley Snipes was very hard to work with, so much so that like I really don't think he didn't film any of his fight scenes.
No.
No.
I remember Ryan Reynolds saying that he like just did not like working with him at all.
No, and I believe that the director, I think the guy that directed the third one also directed the second one. Yeah. So he even said in the second one, I do remember that he like didn't even want to work with Wesley Snipes again. But then Blade 3 comes out. Oh, it's the same guy. So I guess money.
Yeah,
talks.
money talks, man.
But I mean, it was all right. Parker Posey, she's most famous for Dazed and Confused. Yeah. Yeah, she played. I really hated her character. She played. What was her character name? It was Danica Talos. I did not like her, and I also disliked Triple H as Jarko Grimwood. Yeah, that was just shitty. You do get to see Patton Oswalt though. He plays a character Hedges. But yeah, I thought that Blade Trinity was a pretty shitty ending to a great. The first two were good. The first one was the best. The first Blade was hands down awesome. That came out when I was 8. But this one here came out when I was 14, and yeah, no, I do not. It's definitely one of those movies that, like, if I even see or like, if I was like clicking through, say, if I still used cable television, and I'm surfing the channels, if I would see that, I probably would go out of my way to. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. I would keep going. I would look for something else.
Yeah. Another great movie is actually a movie we covered already. The first Saw.
Yes, yeah, the first Saw movie, the one that started it all.
Yep. We did cover that. I don't remember what episode it was though.
I believe that was episode 18.
Was it 18? I don't remember. You think I remember? Whatever. Actually, I could probably find out.
Watch it be the last episode.
Yeah, I know it wasn't that.
It wasn't, no.
It was 14.
Oh, episode 14. Okay. Oh, that's right, because we did start doing the Halloween films.
Yeah, because we did Saw and House of a Thousand Corpses.
That's right.
Then we started doing the Halloween. Then we talked about the Friday the 13th game.
Yeah, we did.
Because we thought that was going to end. It ends this year, not last year.
It ends this December, folks. So if you still own Friday the 13th, the game, get on there. There are still people playing.
You have till December 31st?
You have until December 31st, and then it's stuck in perpetual hell, where it's offline. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
We digress.
Excuse me. Yeah, first of all, the only one I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Scared the fuck out of my girlfriend. It's funny as shit.
Having seen all the Saws, the first one definitely is the best. It is the best.
Yeah.
If I had to choose, that's my chair. If I had to choose, like I said, I'm blanking on the episode. I might have said it then. I'll say it now. If I were to go out of my way to watch the Saw movies, I would watch Saw, Jigsaw, and Saw 2 gets a lot of hate, but I actually don't mind Saw 2. The only thing that skews me out, I'm sure it's the same as a lot of people, is the needle pit. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, the first Saw, Tobin Bell. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jigsaw.
That character is so good.
Yeah, John Kramer is one of the most underrated horror Do you even want to call him a villain?
I mean, he's just doing people that wronged him for the most part.
Well, yes,
Later on,
yes, and yeah.
again, I've
Yes,
never
and
seen him, so
which is weird because in one of the films he even tells one of his proteges that like it can never come from someplace personal, which is it's like, all right, well, okay, Jigsaw, whatever you
wasn't
say,
it pretty
buddy.
much the premise of Sultan?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But yeah,
A lot of people forget their continuity, and that's how you know that the people making these films now aren't fans.
mhm. What else?
Well, Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
All the Dead, yep. Which I don't think I've ever seen.
It is a great reimagining of that classic.
You want to say what it is? Because they can't see
Oh
it.
yeah, as I point. So right now I'm pointing to a poster of the original Dawn of the Dead, 1968, directed by the late great George A. Romero. Filmed right here in Monroeville, Pennsylvania.
We don't live there. We're just.
Yeah, we don't live there.
It sounds like we do. We don't.
Anyway, Dawn of the Dead 2004 was a great horror remake. If you haven't seen it, people, it's been out for 20 fucking years. Watch it. It is, I mean, it's up there. I would put that up if I wanted to have a good zombie night, man. I would watch 28 Days Later after this. Like this is a good like warm up to 28 Days Later.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion. I would watch this first and then 28 Days Later as a nightcap. But yeah, I mean, it was not like your standard chopper shot like remakes. Like this thing just starts running and it just keeps going. There's a nice little it almost gives you like the false feeling of like safety and security, which also you get in the original as well. But the 2004 one was done wonderfully. I think it was actually Zack Snyder's first directorial debut was Dawn of the Dead, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Or it was something before that, and he used the money to make Dawn of the Dead. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I do not recall. I just recall Dawn of the Dead being hands down one of the best zombie movies, as well as remakes in the early aughts.
Yeah, it's got big names. It's got Zack Snyder's directorial debut.
Was it? Yeah, it was.
Screenplay by James Gunn.
Yeah. Yep. James Gunn was the screenwriter.
What is this?
You had Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames, Jack Weber.
Mm-hmm. Who is which is funny because he ends up people actually know him from the 28 Days Later sequel. He's in 28 Weeks Later as the dad.
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini's in it, yep. Which is funny because he actually played one of the main villains in the original Dawn of the Dead. He played one of the biker guys. In the 2004 remake, it's funny, he plays one of the sheriffs in like a news reel. It's like a news broadcast that they're watching from inside the mall. And he's talking about he's like, yeah, some of these folks I knew. He's like, I went to church there. He goes, and you see that body over there? He goes, I think I did her. And then he goes, oh, hey, shoot that motherfucker. He's not dead. We call them Twitchers. Yeah, he played a colorful character in the remake as well. But yeah, the 2004 Dawn of the Dead, I would definitely put that up there. It's definitely top tier, one of the top tier horror of the 2000s, especially early 2000s. Yeah. But being 20 years, holy shit! I remember there's a DVD, and I think I have Dawn of the Dead on Blu-ray. And it has this. I remember it had an extra on it, and I remember first stumbling upon it and being creeped out because I thought at first it was oh shit, after watching it for a while I was like, oh shit, this is nuts. They filmed it was a 30-minute 45-minute long news bulletin.
Oh, okay.
Playing out different news breaks of the outbreak as it was happening from start, middle to the end of the broadcast. And it was showing it would show you like an update, like of the mass update, and it would show like the map of the world, and it would show like places turning bright red would be the infected,
Oh,
and
so
like
that's cool.
it just kept like popping up with different news bulletins. Added like a certain realism to it. And being 14 years old and seeing that, I was like, damn, like fuck, that movies like this don't make me feel like that. Like it's definitely a good watch, man. Especially if you're a fan of the zombies.
If you're also a fan of zombies, you'll like Shaun of the Dead.
That's right, yeah.
Shaun of the Dead is funny as shit.
It is a classic.
I've seen that a bunch of times too.
It was a classic before it was.
It was.
20 years
It's
old,
just
man.
so good, man.
You watched it for the first time and you were like, "This is awesome."
Yeah, no, it's entertaining. It's funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It pays homage to like if you're a nerd, like if you just love like science fiction, horror. It has it. Like Edgar Wright directed this. It was the first of 3 films in what was called like the 3 flavors cornetto or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's what Shaun and the fuck was it?
Shaun of the Dead's the first one. Hot Fuzz is the second one.
Hot Fuzz and what was the second one?
And then the third one was at World's End.
Okay.
The World's End. Sorry, at World's End was Pirates of the
Yeah,
Caribbean.
we were talking about Pirates of the Caribbean earlier. Oh my god,
I'm still stuck out there in Tortuga.
just dropped my phone.
Oh no. But yeah, I cannot believe that that's 20 years old. Shaun of the Dead, folks. You know it. You love it.
It's so fun. Just
Simon
one of the
Pegg,
greatest scenes.
Nick Frost.
I mean, that Simon Pegg's funny as shit. They both are.
Oh yeah.
Them and Paul. Oh my god.
Yes. That's one of my other like I love all their movies together. Honestly, I do.
It's so funny. The scene where they're in towards the end, where they're beating the shit out of that dude in the fucking jukebox.
Oh, and they're hitting them to the rhythm of Queen.
Yeah.
They're beating them with the pool sticks.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I love that. Oh my god, yeah. Dogs can look up. Throws the dart and hits him in the head. Ow!
I was like, Dad, you got the child safety lock on. Safety first,
Sean. Dad, he's not my dad. There's nothing of the man you loved that is left in that car. And he turns off the radio.
Oh yeah, it's when he gets infected.
Yeah.
He just seems like
stop the car. What? Ed, stop the fucking car. And no, everything's not okay. Mom, it's Philip. And she's like, what about him? He's like, he's gone. And she's like, where's he gone? And he like just looks and it just shows the camera and he just changed into a zombie. He's just like, and he's like, oh. The way he freaks out. Oh my god, the acting in that movie is superb. It's fantastic.
You know what? Fuck. We should.
We're coming to get you, Barbara.
We're coming to get you. Oh my god.
Is she alright? Yeah, Mom's fine. They bit Philip. Oh, good. Philip's been bitten. Oh.
I'm gonna watch that now. We should fucking review that.
Do a watch along to Shaun of the Dead? Yeah, hell yeah.
We're not even just laugh our ass off the entire time. It was so fucking funny.
He would like that. So in the coming future episodes, hopefully, we will be having a third voice be joining us. Hopefully. We shall keep that a mystery for right now. But yeah, that would be excellent. I would love to cover that as a watch along.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Yeah, Shaun of the Dead is definitely it was one of the first movies that I went out by myself and rented from Blockbuster. There was a Blockbuster down the road, down the highway. And I would walk along the highway and just even in the snow, I would go there for video games too. I'll never forget walking through the snow just to go to Blockbuster. That was one of my favorite places to hang out as a kid.
Oh, good old Blockbuster.
Good old a Blockbuster. Unfortunately, we get the fourth. Speaking of movies, horror films that turn 20, we get the fourth entry in the godforsaken Tremors series.
Oh.
The legend begins. which I believe is the one I remember seeing. They would play the hell out of those movies on Sci-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
and to be honest, I only like the first two.
I've never seen them.
The first one's the best, obviously, but the second one actually was like all right. So definitely watch the first two. But as far as Tremors 4: The Legend Begins, it should have been Tremors Nothing. The Legend Dies because fucking A. instead of instead of evolving, because it seemed like in each film the graboids, as they were called, would evolve into like different forms of themselves. And this one, being the fourth entry, was actually a prequel, like that took place back in the Old West before the town was the town.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was I think when it really started going downhill. Of course, Michael Gross as Burt Gummer, who has become a pop culture icon in his own right. He's your quintessential American, real American. He's an American hero, Burt Gummer. And in the first movie, he was married to Reba McEntire, so that man has our respect.
I did not know Phantom of the Opera was in 2004.
Oh, that is with
The remake.
yeah, that's Emmy Rossum and Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
I
Patrick Wilson's in it?
flipping, huh?
Patrick Wilson's in it?
Yes.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yep. He plays the other guy that's like interested in Christine. That was a great movie. Also, we can talk about that if you want. I
I've never
consider
seen
that a horror.
Yeah, because it originally was kind of
Oh yeah,
from the what 50s? No, it was early
30s,
not
20s,
10s, 20s. I don't
10s,
know.
20s, 30s, 40s.
It's covered every decade.
Yeah, the Phantom of the Opera, and I thought that soundtrack, the way they redid the soundtrack, was amazing. Oh yeah,
25. Yeah,
damn yeah.
25.
And I believe who was the Phantom? Was it Lon Chaney?
In that one?
Yeah.
If I actually scroll down, wrong. Yes.
It was?
Yeah. Lon Chaney, Mary Philbin, Norman Carey.
And Hoovy, you being the Universal Monster fella. Could you remind the folks listening who Lon Chaney happened to be?
Lon Chaney was a bunch of people. He was.
There was him and then also his son.
Lon Chaney, he was the Wolfman.
He was. He was the original Universal Monster.
Yeah, he was
Wolfman.
Yeah, he was a bunch of stuff. He's pretty much anything from Universal back then he was in. I'm trying to, he is, but most notably he is Dracula.
Yes.
He's not the original Dracula.
No.
The original Dracula is Nosferatu.
Yes.
But they couldn't. I'm gonna way sidetracked. You start talking about Universal horror movies, and now you got me all fucking excited.
You're like, all right.
People may not know this, that Dracula, the 1931 movie, is not the original.
And that's with Bela Lugosi.
That's probably Lugosi.
Yeah. It was not the original Dracula.
No, the original Dracula was supposed. Well, there was a Dracula movie supposed to come out in 22.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, and that was Nosferatu.
Yes.
But they never got the rights to the name Dracula from the book. That's why they had to change his name.
So that's where Nosferatu came from.
That's where Nosferatu came from.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
He's based off a character in the book, Dracula, but he couldn't call him Dracula because they never got the rights to the name.
Gotcha.
Until 31.
Gotcha.
And that's when Bela Lugosi started. And then, then a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, because it all comes down to who has like the rights, like to
Pretty much.
like
That's pretty
one
much
of the
everything.
one of the things that I remember reading about, like as far as like rights and like studios having permission to do what with what property they own.
Hmm.
I'm so glad, and I know a lot of people rip on Sony with how they treat Spider-Man, which is fair. But having known what could have been before Sony had Spider-Man, you wouldn't say any of that. Canon actually had them at one point,
Hmm.
and they were actually going to do a Spider-Man movie about a man who was literally a Spider-Man, like Spider-Man monster. It was going to be straight up
That's a
horror.
character. That's actually a comic character.
Yeah,
It's Spider hyphen Man.
right, right. This was actually going to be like a body horror film.
It's weird.
Like, yeah, think of like the body horror that you would see in like The Fly, and yeah, The Fly, and like the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Yeah. Fuck. Give me looking up fucking
But yeah,
classic.
I'm sure that the reason why was good. Universal. I'm sure that they only had rights to a certain amount of things.
Yeah, dude.
That's like kind of like now, even though we get Spider-Man in the Disney films, Sony still has control basically of Spider-Man and his rogues gallery,
Yeah.
his best rogue gallery, the
Yeah,
best
there's
one
like
gallery. You couldn't use Green Goblin or Doc Ock without Sony.
no. I mean, yeah, we're getting off topic, but
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. We went
Um,
from Phantom of the Opera, then we went to Lon Chaney.
what? Yeah, what?
Yep,
That
yep,
makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
Then we talking about classic horror movies, and I got me all fucking
Then I
excited.
went fucking
You got
all
me.
over
So
the
you
place
got
to
me to the
like canon
Universal
to like
movies. You got me all
Marvel.
excited
I'm sorry.
because there's like Dracula, there's The Mummy, there's
Yes.
fucking Original Frankenstein, and those movies.
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Black Lagoon, um, fucking Wolfman, Phantom of the Opera, obviously.
Mm-hmm. The
Um,
Mummy.
The Mummy.
The
Um,
Mummy.
The Mummy. And there's like a whole bunch of spin-offs of that shit.
Yeah,
And the Abbott and Costello movies.
I love those movies.
The Invisible Man.
Yes, The Invisible Man.
Werewolf of London. The original Werewolf of London.
Yeah.
Bride of Frankenstein. Son of Frankenstein. I just love like the naming back then. Because it was just like Frankenstein. Bride of Frankenstein. Son of Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Return of
there wasn't no
Frankenstein.
like Dracula 2, Dracula 3, Dracula the 4th.
I know. They had their own fucking
They could get
Invisible
away.
Man. Invisible Man Returns.
Yeah, like, and
The
that's how
Mummy,
you
The
get a
Mummy's Hand.
franchise.
Like,
Like,
what
that's
the
how
fuck?
they were able to be in like 10 fucking different films and still be
Yeah.
the same. Like,
Yeah. All right. Now we should get back to what we're doing.
they were gonna redo that. They were actually gonna try to do that again, like
No.
with like that movie I Frankenstein,
Oh. Yeah.
Wolfman, and then The Mummy with Tom Cruise. They were trying to they were going to
Yeah, that's
reintroduce
what
the
it was.
Universal.
The fuck do they call that? It's like the dark universe or something like
Yeah.
that, or something like that.
It's something like that, but it's like a trilogy. It was the trilogy. They had Frankenstein, The Mummy, and a Wolfman.
I think the only reason they didn't do it is because the Mummy
The Mummy didn't.
it
Yeah,
did terrible.
it did. And especially it was surprising too because it was Tom Cruise. But people were like, "No, when we want The Mummy, we want Brendan Fraser. Like
Yeah.
that's who we want Rick."
Side note: Dodgeball came out in 2004. The movie's funny and shit.
What's up?
Dodgeball came out in 2004.
It did, yeah. Dodgeball. If you're not first, or no, if you're not first, you're last. That's Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Jesus, Brian. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. If you can dodge traffic, you can dodge a ball. Is this necessary? Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No, but I do it anyway because it's sterile and I like the taste.
Just staring at like the taste. Fucking god, you're stupid.
Seed of Chucky.
All right, yeah. Okay, back to what we're doing.
Seed of Chucky.
Yeah.
Is 2004, and
That's-
that was one of the first full movies I tried to watch off of something a little people my age and older like to call LimeWire.
Oh my god.
And that was shitty. That speaking of Universal, that's another one that the Seed of Chucky had Universal. Universal had Seed of Chucky. Sorry.
Yes, you Chuck did not have Universal.
And it was here in it was in this one. I think even though Bride of Chucky did make Chucky more meta. Let's be honest. Bride of Chucky revitalized Chucky, like that franchise. Chucky and Tiffany, great combination. The introduction of Tiffany was perfect for him. Then fast forward to 2004, you have Seed of Chucky. So this child that was created in Bride of Chucky, yes, folks, if you remember in 1998's Bride of Chucky, Tiffany and Chucky do have the intercourse, doll-like. You don't see it, thank goodness. It's no Team America World Police kind of thing. You don't see any jackhammering or nothing like that. Fucking puppets, man.
God, man, that movie's so fucking stupid.
Oh, Hans Briggs. No. Anyway.
Fucking shit on his face.
He's just puking in the alley. Oh. He's like shaking. Oh my god. Now I lost my train of thought. Or
Something about them having intercourse or something.
Oh yeah, so in Bride of Chucky, Chucky and Tiffany do end up having sex. I believe it's in the hotel after they kill the couple that were on their honeymoon. And here's the real kicker, folks. So towards the end of Bride of Chucky, when Jade kicks Tiffany in the oven, she's burned alive, and you would think so there would be damage to the baby. I don't know if there is or not. But at the end, Bride of Chucky ends with the fetus coming out of Tiffany and jumping up onto the cop and like attacking him, and then it ends, and you just hear like the baby cry. Seed of Chucky opens like with like this music playing, but like it's no, don't get me wrong, I love Don Mancini, I love the Child's Play franchise, but like Seed of Chucky was where it really got not only meta, but it was also too on the nose with like the humor and stuff. Like it was too self-aware. That one was like a lot of hit or misses, but I mean, you have to accept it for what it was. It was something different then. It's still something different now, and I think that's what makes it last. Is that we're still like, I mean, it's still going on today. But with Seed of Chucky is actually, I mean, then when that came out, I was like, oh man, this is kind of a weak entry. But that's actually like with all the stuff happening now, all that stuff started in Seed of Chucky. Like Chucky starting his attack on everybody, his revenge on everybody begins at like towards the end of Seed of Chucky. And that's, yeah, go on, 20 years ago now. Jesus.
Yeah.
My goodness. But yeah, you're introduced to Glenn. Glenn and Glenda. Sometimes he feels like a boy. Sometimes he feels like a girl. That was my horrible impression of Glenn.
Again, I've only ever seen the first Child's Play. No, the second one. It's in the first two.
The second one I really enjoy because that's the only one where it's filmed. Everything looks big. Everything looks big in every scene. It's because the cinematographer actually chose to shoot it as if everything was from the POV of a child.
Oh, okay.
And it made everything like their house when you're introduced to like Andy and them, like Andy and the family going into the like his foster family taking him into the house and stuff. Like you have that shot of like them like coming through the door in the staircase, and it's just like it's a typical house. But it looks gigantic to the viewer because it's like, oh, you're supposed to be like you're basically Andy. I wish they could have done a lot more cool stuff with like that camera play. I think they really should have done more with that. I really dislike some of the shots where you get like the literal POV of Chucky, but it's like just quick cuts.
Yeah.
It's like nothing coherent or whatever, but yeah, Child's Play 2 is definitely yeah.
Also listen to Assault and Battery by Essentials.
That's right. Ice Nine Kills. Listen to them. Spotify. Where you can also find us if you get bored and lonely.
Bro.
We're here for you. We plugged Ice Nine and ourselves.
You did it all in one breath. That was pretty impressive.
That was. Another movie that I see on my list that I don't think you've watched. Have you ever been a fan of the Puppet Masters? Have you ever watched any of the Puppet Masters?
I own the first 4, but just only because I found them at a garage sale.
That's fair.
But I never watched them.
Watch the first 2.
First 2.
Watch the first 2 and tell me what you think. You can even just watch the first one. If you don't like the first one, you totally don't have to go through anymore. But the more you go on, the Puppet Master series. So the movie that's 20 years old out of the Puppet Master series is a horrible one that was made. It wasn't even like most of them now are just made for television. So this was specifically made. This was definitely the first Puppet Master collaboration with Sci-Fi, back when Sci-Fi Channel was still like the Sci-Fi Channel.
Mm-hmm.
And they would come out with their own, like, sometimes they would come out with their own original movies. And they did, there was 2 franchises. There was Puppet Master, and there was the other franchise, Demonic Toys. And they were all, like, Demonic Toys I would put up there probably, like, B movie rated, horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that you would see on, like, daytime, like, television, like, kind of how, like, on Paramount Network, back when it was UPN. I don't know what the hell the channel is now, but the Paramount, I think it is the Paramount Network now. They would play nothing but Leprechaun, like during the day. It would be Leprechaun in space. Horrible. But Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, like, I remember Sci-Fi really marketing the hell out of this movie because it came out around Christmas time, and the whole theme was about, like, oh, the demonic toys are gonna send evil toys, like, for Christmas and, like, distribute them and take over. And the Puppet Masters in the movies, the puppets from that series, have either been good or bad. It always depends on the plot and what they're serving for. But after the second Puppet Master, which is why I say, well, if you do choose to watch them, watch the first 2. The later ones are actually taking place before the events of the first and second. So you actually learn more about Talon and who is the puppet master who learned the secret elixir of life. And the puppets, the demonic toys, are actually just that. They're demonic toys. They're just little fucking monsters. Whereas the puppet masters, if you go through the movie's lore, each of the puppets in Puppet Master are actually souls from people who actually lived, and were actually a lot of them were actually killed by Nazis.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Which you learn a lot more in other Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys. But Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys, it was supposed to be this big deal for Sci-Fi Channel, and it goes back to David S. Goyer, who created the demonic toys. But anyway, it had Corey Feldman was in it. Corey Feldman was the great grandnephew of Andre Tollin, who Andre Tollin is the original. He's pretty much he's the main protagonist of the Puppet Master series. He appears as a hero in the third one, and then a victim in the beginning of and he was a victim in the beginning of the first film.
Oh, that's what that's from. The fucking creepiest.
Oh, baby, oopsie daisy.
No, the
Oh, Blade.
The jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, Jester. Are you talking about Jester?
In Demonic Toys, the
Let me see.
Jack in the Box.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that scene before. I didn't know it was from the. I've seen that thing before. I just didn't know what the fuck it was from.
But it's actually this one, Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys, is actually a follow-up to 1993's Dollman vs. Demonic Toys, and it's only loosely a follow-up to Puppet Master: The Legacy. But this one actually did end up getting a sequel. It's followed by Puppet Master: Axis of Evil.
Jesus Christ! There's 15 movies of this.
Yeah. Puppet Master?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd have to say in the Puppet Master movies, Blade would have to be my favorite just because of his backstory. He was modeled after Gestapo Major Cross, but he has the soul of Dr. Hess, a German scientist and medical doctor who wanted to work with Talon.
Interesting.
But Blade has a sharp hook for his left hand and a knife for his right hand, and he sometimes has spike-shaped bullet eyes that pop out of his sockets from time to time. But he appears in all. He's one of the few puppets to appear in all the films. He's pretty much like the leader. The white face, the white hair, the black hat, and the trench coat.
Is the Puppet Master game?
There is. Oh, just to backtrack real quick on Seed of Chucky, there was something I wanted to talk to you about with Chucky. I'm not sure if it's already out, but I'm sure you probably heard of it. People listening have probably heard about it. Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
They released that. Did they release it already? Is it out already? It's a Chucky release.
Yeah, it's been out.
But they revamped their gameplay, like so that you can play as Chucky. It's cool as shit.
You can play as Chucky. Yeah. I think it's been out since. I'm not sure how long it's been out. It's been out for a little bit.
Has it? I feel old. I feel out.
Well, I don't play Dead by Daylight, so I don't know.
I haven't. I've honestly lost faith in horror games because I'm honestly gonna say it again. Nothing beats Friday the 13th.
No. It was just too fucking good.
Like you had and Gun Media has come out with plenty of other horror movie game based stuff like Evil Dead,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, fucking
Predator,
Killer Clowns game that people like.
Yeah,
it came out like. Reason. Well, I remember seeing a trailer for that, and this is gonna die within a week, and it fucking did. Because it was people were all excited about oh cool, and I don't hear do you hear anything about it ever? No one fucking plays it anymore.
No. It's up there with Gone.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, yes, no. Yes, no.
There's just too many of those games that came out. Those asymmetric horror games that came out to. The only reason Dead by Daylight is so popular because it's constantly getting updated. Yeah,
it uses IP.
It's like Fortnite. There's Michael, there's Chucky, there's Freddy.
And I always have that. Freddy's, yeah. I always have arguments with people that are my age or you're a little younger, maybe your age, that'll argue with me that Fortnite is not just for kids, which I have to disagree. I'm sorry.
I don't Fortnite.
But two, it's only fucking relevant because it uses IP to stay relevant. It uses other people's IP to stay relevant.
Yeah.
I always hate the argument oh, you can come on, get on, you can play as Spider-Man, or you can play as if I want to play as fucking Spider-Man, I go on Spider-Man 2. If I want to play as Kylo Ren or Rey or Darth Vader, I can go on Battlefront.
Yeah. Yeah, just because you can play, there's just free skins of characters. That's all they are.
Yeah, that's all it is. And then of course you get these live concert bullshits.
Yeah, whatever. At least Dead by Daylight has unique things with them.
Yes.
Man, we got way off topic.
You have stories. Well, yeah, pertaining to Chucky, but it goes off of you don't get just characters. You get a whole story chapter.
Yeah.
A whole game mode with these based everything all around that one character.
But yeah, it's just.
But it's a good segue that we went into video games because this next one that turned 20 is a sequel to a video game movie. Resident Evil Apocalypse.
The Resident Evil movies?
Yes.
I think I've ever seen one of them.
Which one do you remember?
Which one did you say?
Huh?
Which one did you just say?
This one's Apocalypse. This one was the first one to be in the city, to be in Raccoon City, and it introduces Jill.
No, I'm getting mixed with Underworld.
Oh yeah, because they're very
similar.
The colors are very.
Yeah, they're very similar.
The poster itself.
God damn.
Looks just like Underworld.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Underworld. I was thinking of Underworld, but I was not liking.
Yeah. Oh, great fucking movie, dude. Oh yeah, I love all the Underworlds.
Yeah.
Lucian. Oh. Anyway, Resident Evil Apocalypse. I can't believe is another one that has turned 40. Like I said, that's the one
20.
that turned 30. Holy shit. Turn
20.
Turn 20.
Motherfucker went from
saying
40 to 30.
30, 20. Brian, how many? 20. What episode are we on? 30. We're on episode 20. No. So yeah, Resident Evil Apocalypse was the first sequel to the Resident Evil series. The first Resident Evil, which is the best one out of all of them. Sorry, it just is because. Uh, did you watch all of them?
Resident Evil? I
Yeah.
haven't seen Evil.
It's just, I don't want to spoil it for the people, like if people haven't watched all of them or if they intend to finish it one day. It's just there was how many Resident Evil movies? And first off, they didn't even really follow the games in any way
No.
other than characters and settings. They completely butchered. So this is Resident Evil Apocalypse. So this was the one that introduced Jill Valentine and Carlos Oliveira. And not only that, but it introduces the Nemesis,
Oh, okay.
the Tyrant,
Yeah, Nemesis.
and it's fucking dumb. He looks great in the movie, but the story, folks who haven't watched these movies, if you're gonna watch them, watch them. Folks that have watched all the Resident Evil movies, you know where the fuck I'm coming from. Horrible, horrible ending to it was it had promise in some aspects, but it just fucking just shat all over the place. Sorry. But Resident Evil Apocalypse, I remember when that came out, I was like, cool, we're getting a sequel to Resident Evil. And of course, if you've seen the first Resident Evil, the ending of the first one just shows Alice like standing in the middle of the city and it's like abandoned. And she just goes like cocks the shotgun and then it pans out to like Raccoon City like being devastated.
Yeah.
Leading into like, oh shit, okay, the next one's going to be the city, which sure enough this one ended up being Raccoon City. But then not only was it Raccoon City, but you also had these characters that you don't really get invested in some of these characters, and some of these characters are in the sequels going forward, which really sucks. You're in it for what you expect from the video games. You're in it for the zombies and shit. And as it goes on, it's more about Alice, her growth, her figuring shit out with a little bit of zombies, but more of the monsters that you get in the games. The monsters came way later in the movies where they should have came from the fucking start.
Yeah, in the games they came fucking right away.
Yes, exactly.
Fucking what, Mr. X?
Yep.
Nemesis.
Yes.
The clickers?
Yes.
This is brain sucking.
The piercers. Well, the liquor.
The liquor, that's what I'm thinking.
That's it, yeah.
That thing fucking scared the shit out of me.
Oh my god, yeah. When it crawls on comes through the windows. I was playing the original one for the GameCube.
I need to finish
the first one.
I need to finish 8. 8's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I got like 3/4 away and it stopped.
6 I really liked.
6.
I know 6 gets a lot of hate, but I like I don't know. I like the visuals of that one. It's really dark.
7's good too.
7's really good. Biohazard was fun as hell. That was one of the that was the first Resident Evil game I bought for the PS4. Hell yeah.
I think this went from like 20-year anniversary to like us reminiscing about shit.
I know. And then the one that said, the one that we want to have like, come on here, talk about like some of these movies are based on video games, missing out. Wouldn't appreciate the stuff I was saying about Fortnite, but I digress. He can have it. He'll have his moment. But yeah, so Resident Evil Apocalypse, great. I have to say, again, great actors, great characters stuck in a shitty story. The Grudge.
The Grudge. I remember that movie. I never seen it, but just as a kid, just looking at the cover scared me.
Just the eye.
Just the eye
with the hair.
Yeah.
I seen Scary Movie 3 before I seen the actual Grudge, and it makes fun of it.
The Grudge is so fucking funny. Or Scary Movie 3 is
Yeah, The
funny.
Grudge is fucking hilarious.
Scary Movie 3 is so fucking funny.
We just start telling people, watch Scary Movie 3. That's fucking, it's terrifying. But if you want some laughs, watch The Grudge.
You've seen Scary Movie 3 where her fucking hat keeps getting bigger?
Yeah.
The funniest fucking joke. Or when he fucking goes home and cocks the shotgun. Or cocks the shovel.
Cocks the shovel and the shells come out.
I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my god. When she's like touring the house and he's like trying to like keep the girl from coming out of the bathtub with the plunger and shit. And he's like sitting in the bathtub and she's like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, check upstairs. It's nice. The Grudge though, that was up there. That was one of those movies like with The Ring, where like I was a kid, I was just old enough to like, all right, I can watch this on my own. And I remember both of these movies being watched at a friend's house, like on HBO, at like midnight or later. Like just sleeping in the living room, like on the floor, and like just like staying up with the TV, man.
I think those movies are like that was like my version of like the Paranormal Activity movies.
Okay.
Because they came out. I was young. I don't remember when exactly they came out, but I was younger. Yeah, I
think the first Paranormal Activity came out like 09.
Okay, so I was in middle school.
Because I helped, like, we had to like vote online to get it to like actually come to theaters like around us.
Yeah. I think it was.
And when we went to see it, I remember being so pissed off at the first one, dude. Like,
well,
I didn't get into them until you showed them to me back to back. Like, but the first one, when I see that in theaters, I actually loudly said, like, this is the part where we all get up and ask for our money back. Like, I was so pissed. Like, I didn't like the way it ended at all.
No. I mean, my favorite was the third one. But.
Yeah, that's the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, those movies, just, like, they live. Because I remember watching it. Because my mom loved them. Or liked them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she like tried to force me to not force me.
She held me at gunpoint.
She like wanted me to see them.
Fine, Mom, but you have to watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
She wanted me to see them in theaters, so I went to go see I think the second one with her. That came out whenever. I was just like, yo, fuck, this is like I was actually like legitimately scared.
Oh yeah,
because those found footage movies, like,
like
they fucked with me. Blair Witch, that really didn't mess with me, but because I seen it like, if I seen it in theaters, it would be different.
I seen that when I was 9. That was
or Cloverfield. That fucked my girlfriend up.
Cloverfield.
No, Cloverfield. We both did. Cloverfield and Blair Witch.
Oh yeah.
It's those found footage movies she doesn't like.
Oh, that new Blair Witch.
That movie sucked.
The one where they're like, oh, she's in the house, and then like it ends with that.
Yeah,
like,
you and I watched it.
Yeah, we watched it.
Because I bought it just for us to watch it, and I only ever seen that one time.
That was the same weekend we watched Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, because I bought those at a local
Complete
store.
box.
Yes. I don't want to say any names, but whatever.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Money. No.
We bought the Complete box. Yeah. So then, we're just watching that, just like, I remember watching the third one in theaters, and I remember watching it again by myself late at night, and I was just like, this is a bad idea. Just because the scene, we're getting way the fuck off topic, but I don't care.
That's totally fine.
The scene where it's the babysitter in the bed sheet.
Oh yeah.
That fucking scene. That scene still creeps me the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's on an oscillating fan, which was really innovative at the time.
Yes.
And it's just like you see someone something standing behind this babysitter, and then it, like, as it's like turning back, almost out of the frame, it just disappears.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh. It's funny because my sister's house has like a little, in her basement has like a little like access door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the fucking. It looks exactly like where Toby lives.
Oh no.
because it looked
I
exactly
know
like it.
plenty of basements, man, that have that little door
It's
like
like a
off
little
to the
door that's
side.
like has like a little storage thing. It
Yeah,
looks
or
exactly
it's
like.
like under the stairs.
Yeah, I
Oh my
remember
god.
touring that. Like my sister showed me her house, and I saw that. I'm like, shit, that's where the demon lives. She's like, why do you gotta say that? I'm like,
You just start saying the name like 3 times. Like,
I'm like,
no.
it's dope. I used to be weird because I used to be obsessed with the movies and write fucking Toby on everything. Cause I was weird like that.
Oh, why not? There would be times where I would just put on a hockey mask and go outside, and like we would get some of the like our friends together and play manhunt, but I would always like to be it, and I would be Jason. I would just put on the hockey mask, like run and like catch everybody. That shit was fun.
Okay,
That
I
shit was
respect
bad
movies
fun.
that came out 20 years ago.
Oh, I know. I know.
We got way
We can
off
talk
topic.
about
Whatever.
anything we want, man.
This is kind of a
Fucking
free episode for us.
so since we're already off topic, I'm totally fine with that. What horror movie won't you watch?
Won't I watch?
Like, what's a horror movie that, let's say, that you've seen that you wouldn't go out of your way, that you almost wish you didn't see?
So a movie I've already seen, but
We'll do that one, and then like maybe there's like a movie that you haven't seen that you just won't.
well, for that that'd be the Human Centipede
That's totally fair.
and Tusk.
That's fair.
And
That
anything,
one's very good though.
anything.
The body horror, right?
I don't like body horror
Yeah.
at all. I don't like torture. I don't like body horror. I don't. Maybe I wish I haven't seen. I don't really know. 'Cause I don't really do that because it takes a lot for me to watch a movie,
Yeah.
which is weird coming from I do a podcast about movies.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I honestly don't know.
No.
And if I can't think of it at the top of my head. I don't know. I like most of the movies I've seen.
Yeah, same. Now that I'm thinking about it too, it's like, huh, I'm glad I didn't ask me that question.
Yeah, but yeah, anything body horror I don't like. I like Human Centipede, fucking Tusk, fucking.
Now, have you've seen all the Nightmare films?
Seen the first 5. Yes, I watched the first 5.
So up to Dream Child.
Yes.
Did you see Freddy's Dead?
No.
I think you didn't see New Nightmare.
No.
Okay. Freddy's Dead's a fun one. That's basically your like typical. Excuse me. That's peak MTV Freddy. And then you have 1994, which is holy shit. That movie is 30 years old. It's 2024
New
now.
Nightmare.
New Nightmare is going to be 30 this year. Holy shit. Uh, New Nightmare was what Scream will become. It's
Okay.
pretty much like Wes Craven. I think that New Nightmare was the first one to make Freddy like it was the first one to be like meta, if that makes sense. When you watch a New Nightmare, just keep in mind that 2 years later, well, the following year after New Nightmare, Wes Craven would be filming Scream.
Okay.
But a lot of precursors that
Yeah. I'm still trying to think. I can't really think of one.
I can't really. I go out of my way. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch any of the Scream movies after 3.
Okay, the 6th one was bad.
Sixth one was actually like good.
It was not
And
better
if,
than the 5th one.
and if yeah, the fifth one fucking. They should have. Spoiler, folks. They should have never killed Dewey. Like, nah, no, sorry, nah. They killed Dewey. You don't fucking do that. But if that was like the last one,
You know it won't be.
yeah, I don't know though. Do you think we'll get a 7? You think we'll get Scream 7?
Probably. It's gonna be some weird fucking new trilogy that everyone likes to
They'll
do.
probably pay a lot of money to bring back Nev. Because Gail's still alive.
Yeah, Gail's still
Sydney's
alive.
still alive. Sid and Gail are the only ones from the originals that are alive.
Legacy characters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope not. It's stupid fucking Friday 13th show.
Yeah, yeah.
Crystal Lake. What the fuck they called? Just Crystal Lake. Right?
Crystal Lake. Let's watch this about Pamela. Where's Jason? He's not in it. But thankfully, we're getting a Jason film. They just don't know if they want to make it like it's gonna. It's definitely it's gonna. No matter what it is, it's gonna be the 13th film.
Yeah, it is gonna be a 13th film.
So it has to kick ass.
Yeah.
They just don't know whether to do it the way Halloween did it, and like ignore certain sequels and just.
Which I'd be fine with.
I'd be fine with that too.
They're gonna go all fucking Halloween ends on us. And...
If they were smart, they should fucking pick it up right after 6.
Yeah.
They should. They should totally bring back Tommy Jarvis.
Bring back Tom Matthews and Tom Jarvis.
Absolutely. That would fucking yeah. Would it be Tom Matthews, or like, do you think that they would cast? They would probably cast like a younger person. Zac Efron.
He came out of fucking left field.
Zac Efron just takes on Jason.
Fucking Zac Efron.
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Reynolds.
Jared
Leto. Funny
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. No.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Bro. We can walk it.
You would bring too much to fucking Tommy Jarvis, dude. Like at that time, you would be like, dude, I don't know, man. I don't want Tommy to die. I think Tommy's got this one, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of shit.
Tom Holland.
No.
As Tommy Jarvis.
No. I could see it, but no. Tom Holland's not that great of an actor.
He plays the same character and everything. He's Peter.
Fuck, I need to watch the Fifth Insidious. Red Door. I haven't seen that.
Oh, I seen that. I seen that.
I haven't seen it
yet. It was actually pretty good. Like a good ending.
I heard it was.
A nice cap. A nice cap. Made me wonder why that fucking actor couldn't be in anything after Iron Man 3. Like, he played Harley in Iron Man 3. He played the kid that helps Tony.
Oh. Shit, I haven't watched Iron Man 3.
And then you only see him again at Tony's funeral at the end of Endgame.
Oh, that's right.
The son from Insidious.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I heard there's supposed to be a new Conjuring movie coming out. I'm just like,
yeah, they're heavily invested in that.
Conjuring 4, yeah.
I really wish that they would stop, like, because it's New Line.
That makes sense.
Like,
because Conjuring 3 sucked. I'm sorry, it did. I'm not even sorry, it did.
Does Warner Brothers still have Friday?
Warner Brothers?
Yeah. Because I think they're the ones that are executive producing the series. Unless that's just Peacock, which I think Peacock is like a thing, like with them.
I have no idea.
Because I know Cunningham is doing the film. Victor Miller's doing the series.
That's fine. He can have the series.
Yeah, he can have the fucking series. He can have Pamela, whatever. He can have his weird fucking mom Oedipus complex. We like Jason. You hear that, Vic?
Motherfuckers talk to you through the vent.
You hear me, Vic? I'm down here. I'm not letting you out until you fucking... Not letting you out.
I fucking watched it. How did I watch? Oh, the fucking second Nun movie.
Oh, yeah? Was it?
It was as bad as the first one. Like, oh my god.
I can only imagine. Yeah, I can't believe... There was a. What was the other?
You can pay for that. We're still recording.
Yeah, I know.
We're
No,
just
we're still
talking.
going. The Oh, what the hell was it? That movie Godsend. I remember seeing it um through cable television when it would be on. I never watched it from like start to end. I would always catch it like snippets, but from what I would gather, um, that was one that came out in 2004, and it was about a couple that like they had a son and he died, and they
Mm.
visited a doctor, and the doctor was like, "I can bring him back."
Oh, some
It
Pet
was kind of
Cemetery
like Pet
shit.
Cemetery, but like he was somehow able to resurrect their dead son, but the dead son wasn't their son,
So Pet Cemetery.
pretty much. Yeah, and it was just
Less cat.
yeah, less cat. There's no old man telling them like, "Don't buy him like that." I damn right. But yeah, man. What So let's see here. I'm glad that like now we're off topic, man. We can pretty much make
Talk
this
about it.
whatever now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking so yeah, you can chime in. So I guess I would have to say well one of it's 20 okay, so it's 2024.
Yes.
All right. Let's take a horror movie. If you were to take one of your say you had you're a new director, right, up and coming. You have the chance to remake one of your favorites.
Remake one of my favorites.
What would you remake? Who would you have
Fuck.
play?
Shit.
The hot seat.
For real. I would say. Hmm. Just think one of my favorites is probably one of the classics. But there's really been so much done. There's a million Dracula movies. There's a million fucking Frankenstein movies.
Like I said, it's 2024. You can do anything you want.
I know. I'm just trying to think. Because they actually they are remaking Nosferatu.
Hmm. And we're getting a new Invisible Man.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård is supposed to be.
Nosferatu. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, he's supposed to do that after The Crow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel
The
about
Crow's a touchy subject for us, especially for me.
it pisses me off because like I love Bill. I liked him as Pennywise.
Yeah.
He opted out of Pennywise to do The Crow. I don't know. He could have been in Welcome to Derry,
Yeah.
but I don't know how they're going to recast Pennywise.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. Crow's a touchy subject for me.
I love that movie. That is a great movie. I mean, I'm interested to see it. I was interested to see it like a remake back when they said that Jason Momoa was going to be Eric Draven. I was like, oh, all right. Like, I even watched the sequels, like to The Crow, when I was a kid, and I was just like, the only one that I thought was like somewhat decent would be Salvation, and then, I mean, it if it would have been made a little bit more serious, I would say the Crow Wicked Prayer was probably, and that's the one with Edward Furlong as the Crow,
Hmm.
and that was before like that was before life happened. Edward Furlong, yeah.
I said, yeah, if I had to choose, fuck, man, I'm not good at this. Probably the original Dracula. Welcome by Legacy. Have played Dracula? You can't say that because you already was Dracula. You say Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
He already was Dracula.
That's right. Yeah.
It's Bram Stoker's
Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Sir, yeah.
He was knighted.
Yeah, no. I honestly don't know. What'd you do?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, see?
I would redo The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't have it like, it wouldn't be, nah. It would, my take on it would be more modern. Yeah. Because like how a lot of times people like say like predicting the future that like everybody's going to be living in cities
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, okay.
like towns and stuff like that are going to be like nothing.
Yeah.
So like something like that where like people are used to being in like a utopia or like a metropolis and they get stranded on the way out or something. You know, something akin to that. It would be like Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Interesting choice. Yeah, I don't know. Talk me to think of shit.
It is. I don't know who I would have in it. I don't know who I would have in it.
It's like American Psycho, but I wouldn't talk to them.
Or actually, I would totally love to remake the Jeepers Creepers movies.
Okay.
That would be fun because there's so much you can do with them.
Yeah, because they really didn't do much with them.
No,
They're fucking good movies. Well, the first two were.
but yeah, 3 was fucking stupid. Oh my god. I wish that they would have made a sequel to the second one, to Jeepers Creepers 2. A direct sequel to that one.
Yeah.
Would have been fucking great. I wanted to see what happened when he woke up in the barn. Give us that, please. We don't ask for much. You're giving us fucking Logan. You're giving us Wolverine and Deadpool. Like,
Yeah.
come on now.
You can do it.
You gave us 3 Spider-Men in one movie.
Give us a different not actor, different fucking director though.
Yeah, give us a different director.
Well, it's not pedophile.
But bring back the Creeper. He was up there, man. And for being in an early 2000 creation, if you think back to think back like 20 years ago, we didn't really have anything.
No.
Because it's 2004. We're a year. So say it's like January. So right now it's January 2024. Let's go back January 2004. The ass end of 2003 saw Freddy versus Jason. So that was it for them.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know it at the time, but we saw the definitive ending to both franchises.
Yeah.
Which I really wish had I known that back at 13, I would have like gone all out for it. Like I'm sure I said in the episode where we covered it, where Freddy vs. Jason episode, that was probably our longest episode.
Oh, that's for those
2 or 3 hours.
Fuck, that was almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
I had to split that in 2 parts.
We did, yeah, that's right. That's right. That was a fun one.
Well, no, I didn't. Yeah, it was all one episode, but the way I had to.
We had to.
The way I had to edit it.
Yeah.
I had to edit it differently.
Yeah, that was definitely hell right. So it's January 2004. We're 4 years into the new millennium, and what do we really have as far as horror that's like original? And when I think about it, like the Creeper, as far as like a horror villain.
They're about like current now?
No, like we're January 2004.
Oh, 2004, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
So Freddy versus Jason just came out at the ass end of. So that
Yeah.
was August of 2003. We're in January of 04.
Yeah.
And all we
Creeper.
got is the Creeper
As a genuine. Yeah.
as like a genuine like newcomer. Because up until that point, we had Freddy and we had two Jason movies in the 2000s.
Mhm.
So we were pretty much like done with. Well, in the from 2000 to 2010, we had three Jason films
Mm.
and two Freddy films. No, one Freddy film because Nightmare on Elm Street remake was 2010. So I'd say from the year 2000 to 2009, as far as like original, I would say, and I don't care what anybody says, they were original concepts because a lot of people would love to see a lot of those ideas on that fucking board. But
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods,
Cabin in the
dude.
Woods.
But that was 2011, wasn't it?
Sure. Whatever. Still, yeah. I guess, yeah. I would say that movie I would do.
Cabin in the Woods.
I would do.
Would you remake it or make a sequel,
I would make.
or would it be a prequel? Because I think
It
the
probably
end.
can't be. It can't be
Because
a sequel.
because the world ends.
Yeah, what kind of?
Spoiler.
I mean, watch our episode on it.
That's right.
I don't remember what number it is. It's one of them.
Islam.
It's one of the 20. Yeah. I want to remake it. I'd probably make it a prequel,
Okay.
and then just either go, yeah, either off the whiteboard or what other countries are doing. Because there's like the Japanese, which are like all the Japanese horror movies,
Mhm.
but like Sweden, like what the fuck they got?
Yeah.
Or
Oh, so you could make it actually set during the same time?
yeah, or like how they failed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know how Japan failed,
Right, right.
but like the other ones,
You're not seeing
you're not seeing
everybody on. That's pretty cool.
how they failed.
Yeah.
You just see the plants on fire or like the buildings are on fire. It's it.
That'd be pretty cool.
I guess, yeah. Or expand on the whiteboard because they had a whole bunch.
Yeah, dude.
We see a
Yeah.
merman.
The mermaid. Like I was like, I don't want that. And then it happened. He's just like, no, okay, Do you think he actually hated the way he went out? I think part of that was a little masochistic.
That shit was funny. He's like, he like looked over and seems like, oh come on.
Why? What are you doing here? Just, oh, dude, can you imagine just like turning over and that thing's like, just like,
I know. It's like no, it's a mermaid, dude. It's like not what you think it is. It's like, that's a good movie.
So as a kid, Hoovy, what horror movie creeped you out the most? As a
Creep
kid?
me out the most? Shit, almost all of them did.
That's fair. That's fairly
I
fair.
guess judging. 'Cause my sister had a bunch. There's a bunch. I mean, there's like The Ring, The Grudge. I remember seeing the cover art for Jeepers Creepers,
Oh
like
yeah,
the DVD cover art.
yeah.
That freaked me out. I was a scared kid for some reason. I grew up in
Dude, he was creepy as hell though. The creeper,
yeah.
especially in two when you really see his face when he's like up against the windows and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, hell no.
What else fuck creeped me out? Oh, my phone locked up. So what the fuck? I stopped recording.
And that shot of him in the second one, like running through the cornfield,
Mm-hmm.
and then just like throwing.
Oh, I remember very vividly. My sister was watching something on the MTV, It was like a horror movie countdown or something like that.
Okay.
And it was the scene in Children of the Corn where they put his finger in the fucking meat grinder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah. Oh God.
because they didn't fully see it. It was just that they cut to it.
Like that was the. I loved how they did that back then. It's the not seeing that gets you.
Yeah, and it was just like that's still stuck with me. That's still I think that's part of the reason I won't watch Children of the Corn either.
That's fair.
I mean I probably will now,
First one's really the only one to watch.
but yeah, just like seeing that, just like because I was a kid when I fucking saw that scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
My fucking just head just went like, oh, I had to run out of the room. It's like, oh my fucking god.
That's how it was when I was a kid. The movie that scared me the most as a kid was Pet Sematary. Just because, like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I was so wicked nice to animal. Like, I was already nice to animals. I was nicer to animals after that. Oh my God.
The cheese come.
Oh yeah. That and then the only thing, like, I wasn't afraid of Jason. We lived in like this house. It was like it was like out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So like all that surrounded us was like woods, and then the next neighbor was like about maybe like not even half mile down the road, and it was just all woods. So like it reminded me of Higgins Haven.
Oh, okay.
So like just like that eeriness, like you could be outside in the middle of the day playing, and I even remember specifically like I would be playing in the driveway, and I don't know if it was just because I like to scare myself as a fucking kid or what, but I'd be playing in the driveway like minding my own business, and I'm like 6, 7, and I would just like stop, and like I would think to myself like, "There's nobody out here with me, or is there?" And then I'd be like looking at like into the woods and like around the tree line and shit, and then like I would just like play, but like in the back of my mind I'd be like eyeing the woods,
Yeah.
like maybe Jason's watching or something. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, yeah. That always messed. And then
Yeah.
then when I was a kid, I would always dream about Chucky, which I wasn't even really like afraid of Chucky. Even as a kid, like I was like, okay, the concept's creepy. Like it made me afraid of like dolls and shit like
Yeah.
that. But like, oh man, I used to think it was creepy because like when it was just my brother and I, when we were kids, like we didn't have dolls. Like we had action figures and shit. We
Mhm.
weren't worried about them coming to life. But then as soon as we had sisters, fucking they would have like the baby dolls and shit. Like I would swear, man, some of those things would be too damn lifelike. Like they would look too damn real. Or like some of them, like they would look like they would like move their eyes, even though they weren't the ones that moved. Oh
Yeah.
man,
Fucking
those were
Furbies.
creepy.
Furbies.
The Furbies. Furbies didn't creep me out.
Mhm.
They didn't. No, the only thing that like the only thing I didn't like, I thought they were annoying because if you had more than one, and it was noise sensitive, so like they would always go off.
Furbies are fucking creepy because the batteries are out and they still fucking ring.
Oh yeah.
That actually happened to my fucking sister.
Oh, I never. I rarely talk about this. So it's cool that we're recording
This is a
this. So
Furby fucking.
That's not a Furby story.
Damn.
You reminded me of something working without the batteries. So when we were kids, my grandmother, she used to work at this antique store. And it's actually right down the road here, right before you get to like there at the grocery store.
Oh, okay.
It's now like like a metal shop or something like that down off the embankment.
Oh
Right
yeah.
next to the pole barn.
Yeah, they're talking.
So she used to work there, and she got the one year she for Christmas she got my uncle a old it's an old like one of those like you put batteries in it and it would just like wheel around on like this little like swivel wheels on the bottom to make it look like it was just like walking around.
Oh, okay.
She got two little motorized one was a fireman and one was a policeman. And the fireman would was my uncle's, and it was like going off and stuff like that, and he would always have to go over and like turn it off and shit. And I don't know if like how much of it is like bullshit or not with that. But when my grandmother, she had the police officer one, and it didn't have batteries, but it would always go off. Like it would just like go off and like move about, or like it would just its nose would start glowing because they were clowns. Like it was a fireman clown and a policeman clown. And my uncle said that when he had the fireman clown figure, the batteries were out of it after he finally was like, okay, how the hell do I get this thing to shut off? And he went to take the batteries out. There was no batteries in it. Now things like that could like short circuit stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's easily explainable. But my uncle was he was very peculiar about it because like he would put it one spot, it would end up somewhere else. Well, apparently he put it in like this box or like a toolbox or whatever, and he swore it was like going off inside the box while it was when the box was locked. So finally, what he ended up doing was throwing it in a fire. And when he threw it in the fire, like, he said it like sounded like it started going off, but one, there was no batteries in it, and two, like it sounded like as if like it was screaming. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, well, I don't know. I don't know, man. But I do remember personally the policeman clown that we had, that thing would creep me the hell out because it would always Nat ended up at one point because it would freak everybody out. She would put it in this like corner in the living room and just have it facing the corner.
No.
And to this day, we don't know what happened to it.
Oh shit.
Like the one day, I forget what we were doing. Um, we were moving furniture, I believe, and I was like, "Nan, where's the clown?" And she was just like, "What?" And I was like, "The police clown. Like, where's he at?" And she's like we all forgot about it, but like don't know what happened to it.
No,
Like,
what?
yeah, I got a little bit of a chill on that because that thing used to be so creepy, dude. I wish we had a picture of it or something if I could show you. It was oh my god. And I didn't even know who the hell John Wayne Gacy was back then. Like, and now, like looking back, like that would be something that pervert probably fucking owned.
No, yeah.
Like that, yeah, they were creepy, man. I don't remember the firemen that much. I do remember like my uncle complaining that like it would go off and stuff. And at first he would think that he would think that Dakota would be messing with it, but Dakota would be sleeping and the toy would be going off. But yeah, there was a lot of spooky stuff that happened at that antique store though. Oh, my grandmother was working there. She would work there like sometimes at night, and it's like an old barn that was converted into like an antique store. So like when you walk in, there's like all the showcases that go down like that line the halls, and then there's like when you walk in a little bit and you go to the left, there's like this staircase that goes up, and there's a loft area where there was other displays and stuff like that. And she would be working in the center on the bottom floor. There would be the counter and like the help desk and stuff like that. And she would be there at night, like doing like paperwork and stuff like that. And you could hear footsteps walking back and forth, like like on the loft area, like at night and stuff like that. And she said it never bothered her, never bothered her. And I had a similar situation when I worked over here at the hat company, man, with that place being sold. I know a lot of people that have had experience there. The only two experiences that I personally had, like now I was always optimistic. Like I was never like, oh man, like that was a ghost. That was a ghost.
Yeah.
Very optimistic when it comes to that stuff. Very, very hard for me to like believe in that. So I would work in this warehouse by myself all the time.
Yeah.
Worked in a warehouse in the back. There was three buildings to this place that I worked. And the first two buildings, there were people on the second floor in the middle building, but the bottom floor, like nobody went in there. It was like all like junk, like where they would just put like all their like extra like junk stuff that that didn't make the cut when they made hats, like trimmings and stuff. And that's basically where like maintenance was. It almost looked like something out of Nightmare on Elm Street. I think I told you about that, where it looked like a boiler, the boiler room from like Nightmare 2. So I'd work in the blend room by myself all the time, and it was 2-story warehouse, so it was just me there all the time. I would have this radio, and I would only get one station because we're in the woods and like the reception shit, so I would only get one radio station. And when I would have to go downstairs, I would have to turn the lights on, and it would still be like creepy as hell because all that is down there is like you're down there by yourself. There's one tow motor, and then there's like just rows of different bales of wool. So like it's just like anything could be hiding down there. Like it's just like you always had the feeling of being watched. And sometimes when I'd be working downstairs, I could hear like footsteps like above on the floorboards. I would hear creaking and stuff like that. And the only time you would ever really hear creaking is if you yourself was walking across the board, or if you were running the tow motor upstairs.
Mm.
So, um, I would have the radio turned up upstairs, and I'd be going down. I would be downstairs doing inventory, counting the bales and stuff, and I would hear the radio either turn down, turn back up, turn down, turn back up, and then sometimes it would turn off completely. And then I would go up, and sure enough, either if the volume went down, the dial was turned. If it was off, the switch was turned off physically. That was the only way you could turn it on and off, was by this little switch at the top that went off AM FM.
Damn.
And the only other time like that I figured like shit, man, it sucks if you haunt this place because like you're stuck at work, you can never punch out, like that sucks. But one of the creepier ones happened to me. It was like wintertime, and I was coming back from lunch. That I would for lunchtime I would leave my warehouse and I'd walk down to the front building. I'd meet up with some of my friends and we'd eat in like this little like break room area.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would walk back upstairs. So as I was walking back up to my building, I would cut through the bottom of the middle building, and then the bottom of the middle building would have like this dead man's tunnel, which was like underground. It was creepy as hell, but it was cool. It was like something out of like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, or some shit. But you would walk through it. It was almost like walking through like a sewer tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And you would walk through it, and then it would take you up this wooden staircase that would take you up 3 more stories to the floors of my warehouse. So I remember it being, it was a Friday, and I was going up the stairs in my warehouse, and I knew that nobody was downstairs because all the lights were off. And as I was going up the stairs, I had stopped because I was closing the door that led down to the tunnel, and because you would always close it and latch it to lock it. And as I was doing that, I had stopped walking, but I heard footsteps going up the stairs to where I had to work. And I thought maybe it was this one guy that would sometimes come in and do some of his like paperwork on the other side of the bottom floor of my warehouse.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes he would come up the stairs and and use the bathrooms that were in my warehouse. So I locked the door and I heard the footsteps going up. So I go up and like nothing. Like I look around, nothing. I look through the double doors, like I didn't see anybody. So I go into the little break room around the side, and there's a water fountain in there, and I'm leaning over to take a drink from the water fountain, and I see like a shadow like pass by like the little break room area that was in my warehouse. I was like, yeah. So I forget the guy's name, but I called out to him and didn't answer me, but I heard the one bathroom door close. And so like I come out of the break room and I'm like standing like down there, and like all it is 2 doors, and one was open for the ladies' room, which was never. It didn't matter if you used that because nobody ever used it.
Yeah.
But the men's room door was closed and locked, so I figured, oh, okay, because he would do that sometimes. He would come up and use the bathroom. So I like waited because like I hadn't talked to him for a little bit. And he was a nice guy. I can't believe I can't remember his name. But he probably still works there though. So anyway, like I waited for like about like 10, 15 minutes, and I'm like, damn, like he must have really had to go to the bathroom. Like shit, like that sucks. So like, I went over and I like was like listening because it was like quiet. I'm the only one in there.
Yeah.
And like didn't hear anything, and I like knocked on the door, and I was just like, hey, like you good? Like, but when I knocked on the door wasn't latched. And the door like opened, and there was nobody in the bathroom.
Oh shit.
And then so like I said, that was a Friday. The following that so then that Monday when I went in to work, I had said something to him about like, did you happen to like come up at all, like we're in my warehouse? He actually wasn't at work that day.
Oh fuck.
So like that really like skeeved me out. But the way I figured was like shit, like they were here first. Like as long as if there is something here, it didn't bother me.
That was like me when, well, I wasn't something that's like that interesting, but I was working when I did HVAC. I was working on this company, and they make cables like lines and like wires and shit. And these wires have to go through these cooling troughs. And my company worked on the chillers.
Mm-hmm.
And this company, it's a big warehouse. And I was off to there's like a main path in like the warehouse.
Yeah.
And I was like working off to the side. And like I'm like on my knees and stuff, like working on something. And these people, like I was there long enough to where these people started to know me. Like I didn't talk to like the workers and stuff, but they knew who I was.
Yeah.
And um, I was like kneeling down, I had my head and saying, and I heard someone say, "Fucking say, how are you?" or something like, "Hey, hi," or "How are you?" or something like that.
Yeah. Like a greeting.
And I greeted back, and I said something back to him. Like I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And I looked up to see who it was. And there was no one fucking around me. I mean, there was someone there, but he was too far away
for it to
have been him because he was already halfway down the hallway.
Oh.
And like that entire day, I was like, "What the fuck?" Because it was clear in my head, like it was like in my ear,
No shit.
like that clear.
Damn.
Like it was like a definitive like, "Hi, how are you?" or something. It was like some sort of greeting. I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, I was like, I think the only time I actually have experienced something like that.
The creepiest thing I ever like experienced firsthand was my mom was living over here in a townhouse, and here's the thing, folks. I don't care if you believe me or not. This actually happened, and I will say it till the day I die. I was moving my mom's stuff out of this townhouse that she was staying in, and we had the last of the boxes were up in what was my sister's room. And when you walk into her room, to the right was a regular like closet, and then if you're standing in the doorway and you look to your left, like straight ahead there would be like the windows to the outside, and then to the left would be another closet that when there was no door to the closet, it was like open, but when you would go in and to the left, it was a sealed off what used to be like a staircase to like an attic.
Oh, okay.
So like it was just sealed off, and then the steps were just turned into like shelving. Well, I was moving the last of her boxes, and there was only two people outside, and I was the only one in the house, and I was upstairs. The windows weren't open, and I remember going to the closet that was to the right of the door when as soon as you walked in, and I bent down to pick up this tote, like the last tote full of stuff of my sister's, and as I was bending down to pick up the box, I heard something like growling from the other closet.
Oh shit.
And it like like I'm getting goosebumps now just talking about it. I didn't think anything of it at first. Like I just thought like, oh, what the heck was that? Like maybe like fucking I don't know. Didn't think anything of it. Picked up the box and turned around, and I heard the growl even louder. And it scared me to the point where like I'm holding the box and like the sound is like going like I'm like I'm getting skeeved out now like just talking about it, but it was just like this like demonic like growl.
Damn.
And it just I went back, like I never really like talked about it, but after that happened, like I remember just like grabbing the box and like inching myself like close to the wall as possible, and like to not even never took my freaking eyes off of that fucking closet opening, dude. And I just like hightailed it down the steps, took the shit outside, and I told both the guys outside, I was like, I'm never going back in there again. Never going back in. The way, like how it sounded and like how I felt when I heard that, it was like almost like how in the Harry Potter series, how like they describe when you encounter a Dementor. Like like you're never gonna like you feel like you're happy, like anything that's good is gone. And that's what that that was probably the craziest fucking thing that's ever happened to me as far as like unexplained.
I remember.
I feel like my voice is like breaking up a little bit just because like that was intense.
I could tell. I could just tell by your demeanor that fucked with you.
Yeah, that was really intense because it was right after my grandmother had gotten really really sick, and she was taken to hospice for the first time, and my mom had gotten kicked out of that townhouse, so like we were just getting her stuff, and it's not even an old building. Like
Mm-hmm.
I did my research on it, there's no like nothing, and it's just like I said, like
Something evil was there.
whatever it was just was really. It just, oh my God, like even to like, nothing like that has ever happened to me too, but I'll never forget that sound. Like the first time I heard it was low. The second time it was almost like the same sound, but it was a high pitch and it was guttural. Like it
Mm.
was like low and whatever the fuck it was. I felt like honestly, like if I stayed in that fucking room, something was just gonna come the fuck out of that thing and grab me.
Mm.
And like I felt like literally felt like I was gonna piss my pants.
Yeah. Remember my sisters staying at my grandparents' house, my grandma's house. Yeah, grandparents, whatever.
Mm.
And so this is my mom's side of the family. Their house is decent size because they had a lot of kids, and they converted the attic into a bedroom.
Mm.
That's where my mom used to stay, and that's where we used to stay every time we went over. We stayed up in the attic. That's actually pretty comfortable. And
Like a finished attic.
it's a finished attic, yeah.
Yeah.
There's two beds in there.
Nice.
So my sisters used to stay as kids when they stayed up there. I think we both experienced it. I never did.
Hmm.
But I think they would notice, they would hear footsteps coming up. It's an old house, so you can hear like footsteps. They heard footsteps coming up the stairs
To the attic?
to the attic,
Okay.
and like dead at night. So obviously they were freaked out, but they would see there's like this, like as soon as you go up the stairs, there's a window like right there, and they would see a shadow
Oh,
figure
like going by.
going by, and it was a dude wearing a hat.
Oh shit.
They call it's the Hat Man.
The Hat Man,
Yeah,
yeah.
they call him the Hat
Yeah.
Man. And it was they were freaked out, but they never were scared.
Hmm.
Like it's almost like they knew it wasn't it wasn't trying to like scare them or anything. It was just what I think what it was I think my mom did research. I think they had a neighbor that would watch over the kids when my mom was younger,
Okay.
and he always wear a hat. So he just wanted to make sure the kids were all right.
He would like look out for like a
Look,
guardian.
yeah,
Yeah. That's
I think
yeah.
that's what it was. I can't remember. I can't remember what his name was. I never experienced it because I think he finally passed over when my sisters grew up. Was it worth it?
You don't look out for me. You'll be fine. You
Yeah.
don't need me. You don't need me.
I had some
Hoovy.
actually weird experience with that because I remember waking up there and I had a massive nosebleed.
Oh really?
But I think because I get nosebleed sometimes, and it was that high altitude.
Oh okay.
I
The
think
pressure.
the pressure. I think that just because I remember waking up and it was just a pool of blood. It was the weirdest fucking thing. But it was just that wasn't like for you just a nosebleed.
It was the ghost just punching you in the face. You're just like sitting there like just trying to like bullshit. Fuck was that?
Yeah. Yeah. This episode's
Excuse me.
almost 2 hours long.
But yeah, man, this was
It's just definitely not the direction I thought we were gonna take.
no, hell no. I like the
No.
direction it went though.
We just kind of did our own thing. We started talking about ghost stories.
Talking about what skeeves you.
That's actually pretty cool.
What's that?
I was talking about that.
Oh yeah.
We don't really talk about that kind of stuff. I remember, fuck.
I know a bunch of like stories from like my family like growing up, like with their like places that they stayed that were like haunted and stuff.
Yeah, I never. I can tell you my parents, my sister, and my mom's experience at Jim Thorpe.
Oh,
Because oh my god, my parents, my dad, well, not my dad, my mom and my sister used to be part of a ghost hunting group,
Mm.
and they took a trip. So it was my mom, my sister, my aunt, and these people that were in this group took a trip to Jim Thorpe to the prison
Yeah.
up there. My
A lot of
sister,
history up there.
yeah, my sister is a medium. So whenever like paranormal activity stuff, she gets really sick, like really sick.
Sensitive.
She's
Yeah.
sensitive to that kind of stuff. So I can't if I could find the EVP because it was on their website and their website's long gone, and they were going upstairs somewhere, and you can hear my aunt talking to my sister about going upstairs. My sister is just like they're upstairs, so they finally do go upstairs. I'm trying to remember this correctly. I said they're trying to go back downstairs because they want to leave because my sister was getting sick. Like she's like, you can hear her saying like, "I don't feel good. I want to go downstairs." And my aunt's like, "Oh, okay." Then there's no males at all. It's just females
Yeah.
in this room. You can clearly hear EVP of a male figure saying, "Don't go down." No one else heard it.
Dude.
It was clear as day. I remember when I first heard it, I was like, "What the fuck?"
That's awesome,
You know,
though.
I'm getting fucking goosebumps.
That's cool.
And I was just like, and I think my mom said it. Then they were staying at the hotel there, and my sister was getting a shower. So my mom was like laying in bed, and she heard this like not a cry, but like you know how like when you cry really hard, you have to like breathe,
Hmm.
that like stuttery breath.
Yeah.
She heard that right in her ear, to where it actually like woke her up,
Oh, shit.
and she thought it was my sister, but she was getting a shower. My girlfriend,
That's
and my
crazy.
mom's like, "What the fuck?"
Hell yeah.
Some other stuff. And I have this one weird dream that I always think about. Um, something like super scary, but I was sleeping in the living room because I don't think I have power, so I was sleeping in the living room of my old house, and I was sitting there. I was sitting on the couch or on the floor or something. And I look over, and there's this giant floating head. Like you remember in Courage the Cowardly Dog, the white
Dude,
head?
yeah. Fuck
It was
that.
almost similar to like to that, and it was looking out the door because it was like the living room, dining room. It was like the front of the house.
Mhm.
It was like looking that way, and then I was like I was like paralyzed because I think I was in REM sleep and I got woken up that REM sleep and I was hallucinating. So I was paralyzed. Like I was fucking scared because there's just floating fucking head there,
Oh yeah.
and it slowly started turning towards me, and it felt like forever, but it was like slowly. And as soon as it started looking at me, is that's when I woke up. And I remember waking up in the same exact spot, and well, obviously the head wasn't there. And just like looking, I'm just like I've never felt that fear before.
Dude, yeah.
I was like, what the
Like just
fuck?
frozen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had some weird fucking dreams as a kid.
Dude.
We were being chased by. You know who Jeff the Killer is?
Yes.
That creepy
Yeah, the
pasta.
creepy
I had
pasta.
a dream I was being chased by him.
No.
That's actually my first ever nightmare. I actually woke up in a sweat, shaking. Because it was so because they got to like to where he was like going to lunge his knife at me, and that's when I woke up.
I was like, I remember being 4 years old, and like I would be scared of like going down into like the basement when I was a kid because of fucking Pennywise. And like
I had a creepy basement too.
I would just like open up the door. Like some days I would like try to like muster up the courage because if you went downstairs, the place we lived, the downstairs was like a rec room. It was like a finished room.
Mhm.
It was my mom's room, and then it was like my room at one point. But like you would go down there, I would go down there to like watch VHS on the TV and stuff. But even in the daytime, like the daytime is when I would be like, okay, I can get out. My grandmother would have to walk me down there and then keep the door open, and then I would just
Yeah.
watch TV, sit on the floor, watch TV. The thing is, though, I'd be sitting down there watching TV, and the door's open, and then the only thing that's on the outside of the door, besides going back up the stairs and then going out, there's a back door, is a washer and dryer there. And I would be sitting like, cross-legged watching TV, sitting in front of the TV watching it. And in the corner of my eye, I would keep seeing something like walking back and forth, walk back and forth,
Damn.
on back and forth, and I would freak out. Like I would freak out. They would think of like I was just being like hysterical, like because I'd be like, "Oh, there's somebody down here, somebody down here." And then it was like I was like 5 or 6. I started sleeping down there, and I had a bunk bed, and I just remember like waking up in the middle of the night sometimes, and like I would just like feel like somebody or like something was like staring at me, like standing in the middle of the floor, like of the room, and I would just be like, and then I would just like turn over and then like close my eyes, and then I would make myself go to sleep. And it was always so weird. Or even being 6 years old, like I would remember like remembering like turning away, like turning over because like I could have sworn something was over there on the floor in front of the TV, and the TV would be on. It would be in the glow of the TV, like the television screen. I would roll over, but like I'd be facing the wall, and like in my mind, there's like something like horrible, like right behind me, like ready to like fucking get me. That shit.
The
Oh my
worst
god.
feeling.
Oh yeah. And sometimes I would scare myself so bad thinking about that I would end up pissing the bed, and I would get in trouble.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, I don't know. That
Having-
place was kind of creepy. Like looking back at it.
Thinking back on it, my old house had a creepy ass basement. I didn't think much of it. It was an old farmhouse built in like the '60s.
Okay.
The basement was just like a typical creepy basement.
Cellar.
It wasn't a cellar. It was a pretty decent sized basement, but
Oh,
it was
okay.
just like it just
It was
smelled
old,
musty.
yeah.
It was just I wasn't scared of it, but it was kind of think about it. Actually, it was pretty freaky
Yeah.
because it was just like it was old. It always felt wet down there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like you're in like a damp place.
Yeah, that's just where that's where wash and dryer was.
That's how my great grandparents' like basement was. I remember like you walk down these like rickety ass steps,
Yeah,
and then there was like one side that was finished, and the other side was like not finished, and it was like stone wall, like that was from like the 1800s.
this whole thing was
like it
like
was like where the oil drum is.
yeah, this whole thing was like all unfinished. It was all like it felt old. I mean, it was about '60s, but there's no Amish house in it. Never like no one ever. They just built it just for function.
Now it looks better.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, think back, it was pretty freaky. Yeah.
It was pretty creepy. Yeah, man. So I guess
Weird episode.
I guess I have to say, yeah, this was a hell of an episode for
It
the
just
big
took a weird
for the
turn
big
there.
20th. We did. We went from talking about movies that turned 20, and then divulged into just
Some paranormal
good old
stuff.
paranormal experiences and just good old banter between good friends talking
Mhm.
about what they love the most. But yeah, if you stuck with us this far, folks, and for those of you that say get a new mic, we're working on things. All right,
Mhm.
stick with us. We'll stick with you. But thank you guys for being here for the big 20th episode.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting one.
It really was. I had a
fun.
great time, man. It was great. So thank you guys once again. This is I Know What You Watched Last Friday. I'm Brian.
Enjoy.
Have a good one.
See you.